If you had to bet that Guerschon Yabusele would get more starts than Jared McCain, where would you go there? And why would that be because of his play? What is it that you like about him in the starting five?
Well, so the first part of that question is what I think Nick Nurse will do. I would say that, yeah, he will end the season with more starts than Jared McCain.
By the way, he has one more than Jared McCain. McCain is at 8. Yabusele is at 9.
Yeah. But McCain mostly has started when other players have been out. It feels like Guerschon has a better chance of being in that starting lineup when everyone is healthy. Again, that isn't what I would do. That's what I'm predicting Nick Nurse will do. But there's also like what Nick Nurse is leaning towards now could change drastically in a month and a half, 2 months. There's still a lot of season left. And like I said, I think McCain has been one of the more consistent players, which you shouldn't be able to say about a 20-year-old rookie, but I think he has been. That's in large part a credit to him, a little part a condemnation on the inconsistency of pretty much everybody else on the roster. But, I do worry a little bit about McCain hitting a rookie wall at some point, which a lot of times just comes down to the fact that, in college they play 30, 35 games. It's just there's a lot more minutes to be played at this level. It's not even really about the level of competition. It's just how much basketball they're playing. So I worry about that, and that could impact Nick's decision to start him down the stretch as well. So I will go Guerschon on that. But like I said, that's as much a prediction on what Nick will do, not what I would do. In terms of what I like about Yabusele, there's the rebounding, which of the three options we're talking about here, he is the best. There's the shooting, which compared to like Kelly and Caleb, he has been significantly more consistent at. And then there's just the quick decision, the ball movement, the connective passing, which he has been good at as well. And those three are very compelling for me. If he was a little more reliable in terms of being able to defend, I think I've been impressed with how well he moves on the perimeter given his body type. But it's not like I want to throw him at Zach LaVine every possession kind of movement. And I think that is really the significant advantage that Kelly Oubre has.
Real fast, you said the rebounding. Where would you put the rebounding discrepancy there between Yabusele and Oubre without looking at the numbers?
Not as high as you would want. He probably doesn't rebound as much.
5.6 to 5.3.
Now give me the per possession though.
Yeah, well.
Per possession, it's not all that close, I don't think. I think Yabusele per 36 is at like 8.3, Oubre at 6. So you're talking a couple rebounds worth a difference. And I think that tracks, right? Like Kelly has been in a good spot as a rebounder recently. And if he were to continue the type of play we've seen recently, then that makes sense. But you also have to consider too, Yabusele's been playing out of position and playing center. So how do you weigh that?
I actually think that might hurt him a little bit because he pursues blocks a lot more than he does when he's playing power forward.
Yes. So I think you could argue that his rebounding numbers will continue to go up as he plays as a true front court guy.
Plus, we've also seen him boxing out to allow those team rebounds to happen.
So there's a lot that goes into it, right? We can look at rebounding numbers individually, but I tend to look more at the lineup stuff and think of how they work in tandem. And that's part of why, like, if you wanted to argue Yabusele, Oubre as the two other guys, I think just Nick Nurse has talked a lot about team size. Yabusele, with his limitations as a switch defender, as Derek's talking about, you don't want him on the big quick guards or even like the quicker wings for sure. He's better than your expectations. That doesn't mean that he's good or high level relative to like the type of 3s and 4s you need to defend around the league. So if you want to have him in the lineup, you could make the argument that you almost have to play Kelly Oubre, or maybe not Kelly Oubre, but someone like a Kelly Oubre, Caleb Martin, whoever it might be, whoever's in the run of form at any given time. I think those are all important considerations. One of the things that Yabusele brings, and if you wanted to go Yabu and Jared, for example, one of the reasons primarily that I would argue for that's not shooting is the secondary playmaking, right? Like Jared's ability to run the offense, Yabusele as a screener and short roll guy. Now, he's not going to do a lot of short roll stuff with Joel Embiid on the floor, right? The staple plays are going to be Joel at the elbow, pick and rolls, him and Maxey, and that's how you run the offense. But Yabu, if he gets the ball in the corner and someone actually closes out, he beats a closeout, and then he can make quick drop-off pass or a swing pass out to the perimeter, hit the guy in the weak side corner or cutting from the opposite dunker spot, whatever it might be. he tends to facilitate quick ball movement and is a pretty active player, right? Despite the fact that he does not look like a guy who'd be moving all around the floor. I do think he is deliberate and is intelligent with his floor spots and his floor spacing, where even if it's just, shuffling into a spot in the corner, finding yourself in the dunker spot, timing his cuts in that way, he's been very useful for this team there. So I think the extra, or I trust him more to make those plays on a game-to-game, play-to-play basis than Kelly. Now, if Kelly plays the way he has recently, Kelly's been good at all that stuff. I think he's moved the ball more. We've seen him be an impactful cutter throughout his tenure, especially when he's able to play off of Joel Embiid and leverage the doubles and things playing off of him. So I just like the consistent passing that I think you get from Yabusele on top of all the other stuff.
We all silly like the mayor.